My name is Stanton Davis, and I am a professor at Northern Illinois University. I'm in the School of Theater and Dance, and I'm a voice teacher. And I teach dialects, and I also teach fight choreography, stage combat. I live outside of a little town called Paw Paw in Illinois, Northern Illinois. And Paw Paw is the town was named after a fruit tree that's native to this part of the world, and used to be a big source of nutrition for the native people when they were still living here. And it's a nice hilly area where I live. It's got the huge wind farm all around us, which is pretty cool to see the giant windmills turning. And I live with the animals. That I'm a big fan of animals. I love to be around animals. So I live with 6 dogs and 3 horses, 2 mules, and 3 cats and a pet pig.
Sounds like you have a big family here.
Yeah, you could say that. Maybe too big. But the reason why I bought a place out in the country like this is so that I could have the property. I'm on 5.5 acres. It's all fenced, which is really great. So when you're outside, you can have the dogs around, or sometimes even the horses will come up around the house and stuff like that. And so it's a much more personal connection, I think, than a lot of people have when they have dogs or horses, especially. A lot of people keep their horses in barns that are away from their house, and they see their horse, when they go there to ride, and that's it. Well, here I get to look out my window and see horses all the time, and mules. When we decided that we were going to get gated horses, because at a certain age you don't want to be battered and hammered by the gait of your animal, we started looking around for racking horses or foxtrotters, and we actually found a breeder that breeds Tennessee walking horses. And so they were a place that was quite near here in the town of Yorkville, or just right outside of Yorkville. And he had bred Bailey and sold her when she was about 3, sold her to a dude ranch out in Colorado, a guy that ran a dude ranch. And those horses have to be completely reliable, gentle, because they're working with the public, mostly being ridden by people that don't know how to ride. And so I knew that she was probably going to not be a handful to work with. And so we went and I test rode her, and it was like a dream come true. I mean, she's just the smoothest gait and a really gentle disposition, but she also likes to work. I mean, she's never more expressive than when she's in what they call the running walk, which is a walk they do that's about 23 to 25 miles an hour. They also do a slower walk, which is still actually faster than most horses, called the flat walk. And when you're riding them and they're in that gait, you feel like you're just flying, because the wind is in your face, because you're going really quick, and you're not bouncing up and down all over the place like you would be on a lot of more traditional horses. But so we brought Bailey home, and basically almost from the start, I started trail riding her. And I took a trip out to Arizona. I have a lot of family and friends that still live in Arizona. That's where I grew up. And we stayed with friends in their horse farm in Patagonia in the southern part of Arizona, and did a bunch of trail riding with them. And then after that, we did a trip through Utah up into Wyoming, into the area around Yellowstone National Park. And again, got to trail ride there with her. We bought a trailer that has like a camper living quarters as a part of it, so the horses stay in the back and the people stay up in the kitchen and the bedroom kind of area in the front. And we traveled with her a bunch of different places on that trip, and just it was just easy. It was just amazing to be with a horse that was that responsive and easygoing and so on, but that loved to work. We'd get to the top of a really steep hill that all the horses were traveling up, and we'd stop and to let them catch their breaths. And when we got to the top of the hill or top of a pass or whatever, and Bailey would never want to stop. She's like, I just need to keep going. And you know, the funny thing is that last summer we had her back in the area in Yellowstone, that from one of the first of our trips out there, and she was the same way. You know, she's 18 years old now, and still going strong. But this last summer we noticed that she had that she'd stumble sometimes. And one of the times she stumbled, it was when we were crossing over a river. It's called Eagle Creek, but it's right where it goes into the Shoshone River. And she stumbled, and we were going across the creek, and I ended up falling in the water, and she did too. And we kind of pulled each other up out of the water. And then she did great the rest of the day. That day was the first time I ever got to swim with a horse too, because she swam across the Shoshone River, and not wading across, but literally it was deep enough that she was swimming and I was on her back. And so she swam me across the river, and I just thought, man, this horse is amazing. And then the last couple of times that we rode on that trip, we were in the southern part of Wyoming, right on the Colorado border, and the stumbling started to get more difficult for her. And I had known she had been tested a few years before when we were in Arizona for this disease called EPM, which is Equine Myeloencephalitis, Equine Protozoal Myeloencephalitis, EPM. That's it. And it's an infection. It's a kind of infection that you get from drinking water that has been infected by, of all things, possums. And there are a lot of possums that live here, so we've seen them on the property and so on, but it's possible that she got it from just eating something off the ground or drinking water that they had been in. And if you don't fix it, the horse can go lame, and eventually, because it infects the nervous system, the muscles that are connected to those nerves start to atrophy, and her hind end, which is where they get most of their power from, was starting to look hollowed out. And so last fall, we took her to see a veterinary hospital with a very competent vet that I've used before, and they actually took video because I wanted to make sure what was going on. And then they tested her again and back positive for a neurological condition. If it's not EPM, it's something in the family. And so we treated her with a medication that you give like a scoop in the morning and a scoop at night of this stuff. And it got her most of the way back. But this spring, when I tried to ride her, it looked like she was still stumbling a little bit. And so my normal horse vet came out because she was giving a shot and doing a blood draw on one of my other animals, on one of my mules. So she took her out and she worked her doing what's called groundwork, which is a way of training the horses when you're not on their back. It's called groundwork. And she said, I think that you are over the EPM, but she's got to build back the muscle. And so then we spent the summer trying to get weight on her, took her completely off of grain, because grain is inflammatory sometimes for horses, and the inflammation causes an irritation of the nerves that can bring the EPM back, because I think once you get it, it never completely leaves the horse. You know, she was one of my best horses, probably one of the best horses or equines that I've ever owned. And I rode her a lot. She was the go-to horse because she was really easy on. I had bad ankles then, and I still have a pretty bad back now. And it was just a lot easier riding her. As an arena, other than just mud, because it's a little uneven. Every once in a while, she's hitting an uneven spot.
Well, it's not bad though. I mean, very nice.
And so she was a joy to be around. And then to see her go from being this sort of joyful, spirited warrior to being in pain. I mean, you could see it in her face. And, you know, when she'd stumble, it was just heartbreaking to watch this really, really fit, lively, forward animal kind of start to fade away. And so, I mean, she is good.
Burdock.
It's all burdock. Okay. All right, I'm taking this off. Oh, you ready?
I am.
Okay. Taking this off.
Pat. I'm Stanton's neighbor, and I share his passion for trail riding, and we often go on trips or trail ride locally with each other and his family. So, and it's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed, and he's got some great horses, and it's fun to see them do their thing, and for him and his family to find enjoyment riding them.
My friend Pat and I were riding in the Black Hills, and we'd just gotten done eating our lunch, and we're heading home from one of the wilderness areas there, and Bailey just stopped, and I looked down, and there was a prairie rattlesnake that was probably six feet at least, that was crawling across the trail between her front legs and her back legs. And she saw it and just froze, which is what you need to do because you don't want to provoke them. And then she just kind of looked back at me, and I was like, you got this. And we go, quiet, quiet. And the snake just went on its way right through the grass. And it was like, then Pat and I just breathed a sigh of relief afterward and kind of laughed about it a little bit because, you know, some horses will just freak out, and she's so steady.
Okay. Hi, Bailey.
Good girl.
She says, get that throat latch off me. Hi, sweetie. Yeah, all right, got that off. All right, goodness, hold on. We gotta get the reins off too.
Here, I'll hold her. You can put that wherever you want it to be. Oh God,
What have I done? How about that?
Okay.
You got the keys now. All right. I'm gonna just put it here on the fence, and then I'll put. So I really miss that steady horse. I have other horses that I've ridden, and a couple of mules. One of the mules is just a great mover, but the mule's also a lot younger and a lot less safe to ride, I guess is the best way to put it. I've been bucked off of her a couple of times, and so not being able to have Bailey means that I've not done as much riding as I was able to do in the past because she's just so easy to work with. So and also it's just heartbreaking to think, you know, that these might be her last rides. I mean, I'm not gonna put her down, but I also probably, if I can't get her back from this, she just won't be rideable. And that's too bad for a horse that's been that steady and that reliable, and that the animal enjoys riding. She enjoys going out in nature. You can just tell it, and she loves going on trails. And that's just heartbreaking to see that happen to a beautiful creature like her.